Hello, hello, hello. How are you all doing? It's Magical Monday. It's another Monday, and it is your girl, Tanasha Smith, registered social worker, yes, in Brampton, Ontario. And I can be reached at 905-218-3515. I am also available on IG. You can follow my IG account, Mastery of Self Mastery underscore of Self, and obviously on Facebook. My email, info at masteryofselfinc.ca. How was your day today? How did you master taking care of yourself? How did you master your job? I'm pretty sure you did well for your employer. You made sure you arrived on time, showed up at your meetings. And how did you feed your spirit today? What did you do with yourself to make sure that you are well? When did you check in? Did you check in the morning? Did you speak life over yourself today? Did you do something to soothe yourself? Maybe a massage or just reading a book, going for a walk outside, because that does wonders to us, just the natural air that we breathe in. And so, as I always do, I come on here to inspire you to just be motivated to just live. There's many of us that are facing some dark days. And today I want to speak on grief, what it means to be at a place where you have no words, you don't want to feel it, you know it's coming. Some of us know that we have family members that are not well, and we have to deal with the day when it comes that they're no longer going to be with us. How do you deal with that, right? How do you prepare yourself for death? And when it does happen, how do you heal? Some of us have experienced death, 6, 7, death of other members. I'm talking friends, parents, grandparents, uncles, nieces, friends, co-workers. In a time like this during the pandemic, many of us are we can't visit our families, some of us. We can't go to the funeral because of the capacity. We have to make sure we don't pass that. And so we don't get to even say goodbye. How do we deal with that, Tanasha? How do we deal with that? And I want to encourage you, because it is a serious topic. Some of us who could be facing that right now, where we have to, good evening. Yes, I have 4 from this year. Oh boy, I'm sorry to hear that, Apostle. I also had 2 this year, and it wasn't easy because it was overseas, so I couldn't go, right? And so to deal with death, how do you prepare yourself? You can't. That's the truth. You cannot prepare yourself for death. You cannot prepare yourself for critical illness of a family member. You can't. You have to allow yourself to feel what you got to feel. That is the truth, and that is how you have to go through life. You see, we're not all here to be here till forever. We can't live forever. We are human. And so when we have a tragic death, like accidents, accident of plane, car, just walking, crossing the street and a car hits you, those are sudden accidents, instant death, compared to when someone is ill and they're slowly getting better, then they're not getting better, they relapse, and then they come back, and you know they're not well, but you had the moments of spending with them, compared to also having to deal with someone who's been murdered, right? So there's different categories, but at the end, it's death. And so I'm here to tell you, if you have not dealt with the first death in your life, there is no way you're going to deal with the current death that happens. So what takes place? I'm just going to silence my phone before someone interrupts my live. So what happens is that, I'll use me as an example. My grandfather passed away in 2000, and he was my best friend. He was my confidant. He was my go-to after work, after school. We had our chats. And he was ill. He had prostate cancer. And when he passed, the moment that I remember that I can recall is when I was at school. I was finishing high school, and they called me to come to the hospital. And I knew, you know, when you get that gut feeling that something ain't right, I just knew that he was gone. But I was like, no, telling myself, he's not gone. In my stomach, the butterfly feeling that they said I need to get to the hospital. I get to the hospital, and I didn't get to see him in the bed. They were taking him out, wheeling him down the hallway, and I just start to run. And the fact that I didn't get to say goodbye, it just destroyed me. And so with us as humans, as we live on this earth, the funerals, the time that we spend with them before that moment, it means a lot. But I'm here to tell you that the moments that we should be cherishing are the good moments. The moments when you went to the park, when you had the birthday parties, when they were at your graduation, the birth of your first child, or maybe when you got married, or when you got your first job. What those people meant to you, who they were to you, the good moments are what we're supposed to hold on to. But for some reason, we hold on to the negativity. We hold on to the last moment. We hold on to when they were sick, throwing up. We hold on to when we saw the news reporter say that, you know, a man or a woman found dead, or they were murdered. We hold on to that victimhood much more longer than we do of the positiveness of what that person was on this earth. And so to get through life, you have to accept that we are going to die one day. How we live is very important. And so when we focus on the goodness of how that person was in our life, it helps us to heal. But when you do not heal from past death, so my grandfather passed away, then my cousin passed away suddenly. He was only 18 the day before my wedding. Then my best friend, the best man of my wedding, passed away. I didn't deal with that neither. And then cousins passed away, uncles passed away, best friends passed away. And I hadn't dealt with them. And it wasn't until my brother was murdered, that's when I was forced to face the storm. So you have to do the healing. You have to do the healing. You have to do the self-work to get to a place of peace. When you don't do the healing, what happens is that it just piles up. Layers after layers after layers after layers after layers. And when that piles up, another death comes. And in the meantime, while the layers are piling up and you haven't let go of the death, you haven't healed, you haven't gotten over it, you also find something to soothe you, which could be food, sex, alcohol, drugs of any sort, any recreational drugs, lack of sleep, depression, suicidal thoughts. There's so much that we tend to find that soothes us. And yes, depression could be a soothing, because some of us like to say, woe is me, and just waddle in it, just sit in the depression state because we don't know better. So it's comfortable when we're depressed because everything is sad. You have no positivity in your life. Everything is negative. No matter how someone tries to push you out of it, you sit right back in it. So I'm here to tell you today, you seek the help you need, because today, tomorrow, we're here today. Tomorrow's not promised for anyone, not even for me. So if you don't do the healing of what needs to be done, and I'm talking past pain, of trauma, of death, the first person you've probably even dated and they rejected you, you have a divorce. It doesn't matter what it is. The pain that you have endured and you have never gotten the healing for, it just piles up and you become a walking, wrecking ball. And that does not look good from the inside, because you see, on the outside, you look fine. Nobody can tell what's going on with you. You speak great. You know how to put on a show. You wear the mask very well. As some may say, you put on the veil very well. You wear it gorgeous. And so when you're left alone in your thoughts, in your feelings, that's when the attack happens. And so grieving is not easy. It's not, but you have to go through it. You have to feel it. In order to get over it, you have to go through the pain. You have to go through the feelings, the emotions, the roller coaster feeling. Why didn't I? Why didn't I? How come I didn't? Where could I have done something better? What if I had done this? It's all those if I coulda, woulda, shoulda. You couldn't stop it. So when you come to realize and accept that what has gone and happened in the past and you cannot change it, that is one step closer to recognizing, yes, I believe there's better in my life. There's healing. It is possible. Nothing is permanent unless you make it to be. So grieving, it is sad. But in order to get through it, you have to feel it. In order to get through, you have to go through it. And when you go through it, just remember that there are people out there, professional people, who are equipped, like me, to take care of you, to guide you through those hills and valleys, to get you to a place of peace. But you got to be willing, you got to be committed, and you have to want the change. And so I hope that has encouraged you today, that therapy is not scary. It's actually fun. I do a great job. And you don't come in there smiling. You don't come in there crying all the time. You actually come in smiling, because when you are in a place of comfort and a place of peace and a place of safety, you're willing to open up and share to a complete stranger that don't know your business. And so I encourage you to seek out the things that make you better. Seek out trying to master self. It never ends. You get better at knowing who you are. You fall in love with yourself all over again. If you didn't know who you were, you're going to find out who you are. And when you find that person, I hope that you are happy what you see and what you find, because we are all uniquely made and we are all here to help each other. So I encourage you today, if someone has passed away yesterday, last week, or even at this moment, go through it. You can manage it, but make sure that you find the healing that is necessary. Seek out professional help. My name is Tanasha Smith. I am a therapist specializing in trauma and mental health. And you can find me on Instagram, mastery_of self. You can also find me on LinkedIn as Tanasha Smith. You can phone me at 905-218-3515, or you can email me at info@masteryofselfinc.ca. Be good, love self, never give up, and I'll see you again next week. Take care.